Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another breakdown and predictions video. And this week we got UFC Vegas 78. We got RDA taking on Vicente Luque in the main event, which should be an action-packed, all Brazilian fight right there. And we're coming off a pretty good fight card. We're coming off a card where we did make some money on that card. We made some money on the Contender Series this week, and we've been doing really well on the Patreon. So I got 8 bets, and I'm actually really confident on quite a few spots, some underdog spots. I feel like this is a pretty solid betting card. So this is a great week to go over to patreon.com/MMA Prediction Guru. Get the bets, get access to all the breakdowns and predictions that I'm going to be doing for Bellator. They got like an 18 fight card for Bellator. They got a couple other promotions this week going on. And obviously the Contender Series is in full swing now. We got PFL coming back next week. So a lot going on outside the UFC that you want to be getting into at patreon.com/MMA Prediction Guru. Definitely go there and help support the channel, win yourself some money, and let's keep it rolling, man. But besides that, hit the like button on this video. Let's try to get to 100 likes, 150 likes, 200 likes. I mean, fuck it, man. Let's try to get as many likes as possible. Would really appreciate everyone listening right now to hit that like button, share the video, put a comment down below, and let's try to get these videos some interaction. Let's try to get them out to more people. And yeah, man, with the first fight of the night here, we got Luana Santos. She's taking on Juliana Miller, and that's going to be a very interesting fight here. I mean, Juliana Miller, she needs to rebound. She had a horrible performance in March. She built a name for herself through winning the Ultimate Fighter, but as a big favorite against Veronica Macedo, she got dominated, and the fight was in Utah, so maybe the elevation played a factor, but it didn't seem like it was a cardio issue. It was more of a skill issue, and she needs to have a significantly better fight in the cage Saturday. Luana Santos, she's making her UFC debut. She was 5-1 on the regional scene. She had all but one of her fights in Brazil, and her one fight that she's had so far in the United States, it was a loss. And she should be ready, though, if you ask me. She's been fighting good opponents. Her one loss was a split decision to an undefeated fighter that I believe is probably UFC level. And Santos is only 23 years old, so she's young and proving. She's going to be hungry. And Luana Santos is the more athletic girl. She's big for the weight class. Juliana Miller is known for that string bean-esque frame, having the height and reach over opponents. In this fight, Miller is actually going to have a 1.5 inch reach disadvantage. She is going to have the height advantage, but that's something that she's usually not used to. And Luana Santos is going to have the better stand-up, I believe. She is a counterpuncher, and she is pretty basic, but she likes to cut the cage off, put the pressure on, look to land the counter check hook or the rear cross. She'll throw 1-2s and 3-2s. And she has power. She will sit down on some overhands. She knocked down her opponent in the first round of her last fight and then finished her off. And she has good hand speed. She's fairly accurate, but she can be low volume, and she also tends to slow down. Her last fight, Santos was throwing more kicks, which is something new from her, which was good to see, but she's usually fairly one-dimensional and usually works only the punches. Early on, Santos's footwork is really good, and she does a good job of staying sharp with her defense. She sees shots coming, she gets out of the way, she returns with her own offense, but as fights go on, you do see Santos become more stationary, hittable. She could start to get pressured and backed up, and she got tired in her fight with Jenna Bishop, and Bishop was able to outstrike her in the later rounds. Most fights, Santos has a lot of top control. She's grappling heavy, and in the fight with Bishop, she was fighting a girl that was a high-level judo black belt and a jiu-jitsu fighter, and I believe that Santos felt she had the advantage in the striking and decided to go that route. With Miller, it's going to be interesting if she has that same game plan, because Juliana Miller is obviously much more of a grappler than a striker. And I do think that Santos is going to have that big edge on the feet. It's just if she can maintain her gas tank to keep that edge for 3 rounds. And Luana Santos, her grappling is very good. She's a black belt in judo, strong in the clinch. She has good throws, good timing on doubles when fighters pressure her, good top control. And she can grind out opponents. She's aggressive. She has good ground and pound. She has 3 submission wins. Her one loss to Jenna Bishop, Bishop did get her back a couple times when she went for throws, and Santos was very composed in that position. She showed good ability to stay safe, but she did get backpacked for multiple minutes, and she can't afford to give her back to Juliana Miller, who I think is a more aggressive finisher in that position. And Juliana Miller, she's a tough, durable grappler. Miller has good size for the weight. She's willing to walk through punches to get the clinch, work the body locks, and when she can get on top, she's beastly. She has excellent top control. She's mean with her ground and pound. If fighters let Miller get in a dominant position, she's shown she can finish fights. And she's a momentum fighter. When things start going Miller's way, they tend to snowball for her opponents that she can really take over the fight. I personally don't really see Miller getting on top, though, through a takedown. I think if she ends up on top, it's going to be through either Santos making a mistake or Miller using her guard or something to sweep and get on top. And if Miller can get into a dominant position like the back mount or something like that, she will have a chance to finish. And we've seen that other girls have been able to control Santos in that position. But another thing about Miller that I'm a little worried about on the Santos side in terms of grappling is if Miller has too much faith in her guard, is Santos going to be able to get a lot of top control, slow the pace of the fight, and just hold Miller down? But cardio for Miller is one of her big advantages in this fight. As far as striking goes, Miller's tough, but kind of amateur-level striking. She's tall and lengthy, so she can land some jabs, some straight punches, some kicks, but she doesn't really set her strikes up, and really wild striking. Her defense is very bad, and she kind of just uses that Homer Simpson style to try to eat opponents' shots, get them tired, and then take over. So as far as I see the fight going skill-wise, athleticism-wise, I think Santos has an edge. The fight is just going to come down to if Santos is in shape, she can avoid letting Miller get an opportunistic finish. I think Santos does have a chance at a first-round knockout, but Miller's shown to be extremely durable, and she can't get her out of there in the first round. It could get interesting, but I'm still going to pick her to win via decision. So I'm going to go with Miller. I'm going to go with the newcomer. There is some variables in the fight, with this being her second fight in the United States. She hasn't gotten a win in this country yet, and her first UFC fight. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she goes out there, performs well, and gets the decision victory.